on the Super App include SIM registration, job application, tourism information, healthcare information, and feedback. President Marcos also said that this should lessen the corruption in government agencies.
Because when you do not have to talk to a person at all for the entire process, wala kang kausap na tao, there's no discretion that's being exercised at any point. That way, it simplifies the process, especially for the citizen, and there is no discretion being exercised by anyone. Eh, kung di mo ako lagyan, hindi ko ipapaano ito, hindi ko iipiting ko ito. Yung mga ganun. O kausapin mo yung si ganto ganyan, siya mag-aayos, yung fixer niya. Wala na yan, mawawala na yan. And we owe that to the people.
The Trade Department has launched a dashboard to monitor import surges as the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, enters into force in the Philippines. Earlier this year, the country joined the world's largest trade pact, the ASEAN, with ASEAN countries like China, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea. The import surge monitoring system will keep tabs on certain important industrial commodities. It will also generate statistical data that will help in making necessary policy interventions, as well as forecast market demand to promote competitiveness in relevant markets. Let's check in on other stories from around the world. North Korea is bent on putting a spy satellite into orbit soon after their first attempt crashed. North Korea's Kolima-1 rocket lost thrust and plunged into sea with its satellite payload earlier this week. Kim Yong-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, said they will attempt to fly a new one soon. The United States has since criticized the launch and has called on the United Nations to discuss the matter. Typhoon Betty is now dumping heavy rain across Japan after its impact on northern Luzon. The cyclone brought torrential rain causing flood and landslides in Japan's central and western region. There were also reports of 2 people getting swept away by strong river currents in Wakayama City. Classes have already been suspended in some districts. Now, over in Chicago, the world's largest predatory dinosaur has been put on display. Visitors will be welcomed by a 46 feet long Spinosaurus at the Field Museum in Illinois. The rare dinosaur cast was built in Italy from fossils found in the Sahara Desert. The Spinosaurus has a crocodile-like snout and is a semi-aquatic predator that's at least 95 million years old. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Members of the LGBTQ plus community kicked off a Pride Month with a call for the government to pass the SOGI Equality Bill. Ian Luminario with the report.
Laban, laban! Laban, laban!
Love ban, no bawi-bawi. Members of the LGBT plus community were loud and proud about their call for the government to pass the SOGI bill. To kick off Pride Month, groups staged an equality protest in Quezon City. Armed with rainbow flags, protesters sought to put an end to discrimination being experienced by LGBT plus members. One of them is Ross, who experienced discrimination from a professor.
Umabot sa point na kinailangan kong i-report sa university yung nangyari dahil hindi na safe space para sa akin yung klase na yon. Naapektuhan yung mental health ko, naapektuhan din yung studies ko.
Of course, it wouldn't be a Pride Month event without dancing. Come rain or shine, LGBT members like Mrs. Tan took their time out on the streets. Some, like Mrs. Tan herself, experienced discrimination from family.
Kahit yung mismo mo mga kapamilya hindi naniniwala sa'yo, like kino-question yung identity ko as a person. Kasi before I used to identify as a trans woman. So kailangan ko pang i-extra prove yung sarili ko.
With all this experience of discrimination, LGBT plus members say it is only right to ask for a measure that will protect their rights.
Walang mangyayaring same-sex marriage or hindi ito re-recognize ng gender ng mga trans women or trans men, no? So, ano lang to, ang layunin lang ay pantay o equal na pagtrato sa ating lahat.
The SOGI Equality Bill was reverted to the Senate committee level pending dialogue with the religious groups. The bill was already initially up for sponsorship at the plenary. It was first introduced in 2000 as an anti-discrimination bill for the workplace. Since then, it remains pending in the Senate. For News 5, Ian Luminario, we are One News.
Now here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. Pag-asa has declared the start of the rainy season in the country. The Weather Bureau said widespread rain brought about by Typhoon Betty and Dahabagat hit the required volume to declare the start of the wet season. The Interior Department wants to intensify drug testing in government offices. According to DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos, this is a way to reduce demand for illegal drugs. Abalos also encourages the private sector to have their own drug policies. And in sports, the Denver Nuggets dominated Miami Heat in their first NBA final stint in franchise history. Denver is now looking to extend their advantage in Game 2. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.